What's going on? It's your boy Nikki Duce, aka Mr. No Disrespect, and you now tuned in to No Disrespect. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? I'm with a few couple like new guests, new voices to the podcast and all that. People that I'm rocking with and who I admire from afar as well. First and foremost, it's the homie. She back. Neems, how you doing?
It's your girl Neems. I'm out here. I'm doing well.
And the next two guests that I have are the Unapologetically Unfiltered podcast. And they keep it definitely unfiltered on their podcast more than us
Straight
sometimes.
up.
I'm with Dr. Trill and Miss On Game.
Hey, you already know what's happening, baby. West Side representative, we in this thing today.
Rep your hood, rep your
Right.
set.
We both from the west side.
Hey, Cali.
Adamville over here.
No.
I don't know what she
West side of Atlanta.
You know.
You
Oh,
already know.
Atlanta.
How the West
I'm
how the
my
West Side
dog,
doing? How the West Side doing?
Hey, man. No, hey. I don't know. We want to speak about that right now. You know what I mean? Not on this show. I don't want to make no indictments on no niggas around here. You know what I mean? So I'm going to
You be making one on yourself, nigga.
Nah.
But nah, I'm glad we finally able to connect and link up because I've been listening to y'all episodes. I really like the way y'all come at shit when it comes to relationships in general. Cause y'all talk about everything from finances, which I think y'all just recently did, to even just
Eating the booty.
yeah.
Ooh.
I was trying to find a nice way to say it, but
Get here.
yeah, we talk about that
No
too.
filters.
But I don't know if y'all, I don't know if y'all may have touched on this, or discussed how possibly religion can play a role into relationships. And lately I've been thinking about that, just through conversation I just had with some coworkers and stuff, and how their faith kind of guided them to certain ways and even ended certain relationships. So I just wanted to hear y'all thoughts when it comes to relationships and how religion or spirituality may play a role in that.
Well, with me, it's more so spiritual with me. I have my own personal life experiences and reasons why I feel that way. So I always take time and pray, give it up to the man above, because I know without him, shit, I wouldn't even made it through a lot of situations I've been through, and I had some experiences a lot of people probably wouldn't even go through. Just from I had people coming to me. It been situations I done told her that I had, and she was like, "Whoa, god damn, nigga, but the Lord talking to you for real, for real." So, and then at the end of it, man, I feel like shit. These churches, a lot of these goddamn preachers, they the motherfucking devil they damn self. Right. I don't want to go in there taking no word from them. You might rub some of that shit off on me. Yeah. So I just stick in the own confines of my own personal space and give it up and pray and do it like that. So it's more so a spiritual connection with me. And I feel like as long as I'm doing shit that I feel was right and it's in my heart, shit, I'll be going to heaven.
It's real.
Damn, you said a sermon. I was
I to follow up on that.
I was like, you preaching on a Friday. Hey.
Right, exactly. I mean, I guess, I share some of them same sentiments. When it comes to relationships more so, I think for me, I can't date nobody who does not have a higher faith, that does not believe in God. Everybody might have their own belief system, and hey, it is what it is for whoever. But for me, if we can't pray together, we can't go to church. We ain't got to go to church every single Sunday. I ain't going to get on here and cap like I do. But but if we can't go to church every now and then, and we can't pray together and just talk about, the blessings we've received and all that, then I can't fuck with you.
Right? So you can't pray together, you can't lay together, huh?
Or stay together. I ain't got to be about laying together. God.
What about you, Neems?
So for me, just bouncing off what you said, I was raised to believe that your relationship with God should just be with you and God, not outside factors. So growing up, I'm Muslim, so we're religious to an extent, my family at least. So I just never let outside factors influence on that. So when it comes to dating someone, and I've dated people out of my religion, I've been with Muslim guys, I've been with Christian guys, I never let my religion feed into it as much as I let my spirituality kind of take control. So if I see that they do have a relationship with God, that's what I look for versus, oh, he has to be Muslim or he has to be Christian. Ideally, I would love to marry a Muslim dude, but just, you know, life's hard. Like, sometimes you just meet a nice dude you vibe with, you're like, all right, cool. Like, religion doesn't really, you know, mean the most to me versus spirituality and what they bring to the table in that aspect of, like, do they believe in someone? Is there a higher power? Are they a good person at the end of the day?
So when it comes to dating, and we're all spiritual people at the table, I can say that, whether, you know, you Christian or Muslim, like, I can feel that there's a big sense of, like, there's something bit greater than me, and I try to go in that direction, that righteousness of you know, of just life. And so when it comes to dating, how does that affect how you move with people? You know, because usually if you're trying to walk in good faith and, you know, just be in a good vibe, a good sense of good energy, how does that guide you to, like, in a relationship, like, when it comes to dating? Like, do you not mess with this girl because she doing some other shit that you ain't down with? Or do you mess with this dude? Or if you don't mess with this dude because, like you said, Miss On Game, he may not walk in that same footsteps as you when it comes to walking with God. Do y'all feel what I'm saying with that as far as, like, what?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. And I'm a big person. I go off energy. You know, because at the end of the day, I might see a woman. She might be bad as a motherfucker. But if I look at her or if I just get to talking to her and something ain't hitting right with her, I always follow my instinct. My first instinct led me out of some situations, so I'm like, I can't even go against that, you know. So that's my main thing. I'm big on vibe, energy, chemistry. So, of course, like, if I'm not feeling it, I ain't gonna fuck with it, me personally.
That's real.
Yeah, and I think for me, I just pay attention to signs like energy and all that, like he was saying, but I pay attention to signs and everything too, because sometimes you might start dealing with somebody and you might kind of be on the fence, I don't know, and then you get these signs that make you feel like this shit ain't no coincidence. Like, so I feel like for me, because I pray about everything, I start dealing with somebody I'm praying if this person ain't for me, then I need those signs. I need to know this person ain't for me. If there's somebody I should invest my time into, then, you know, I pray that I, you know, get led to continue to, I guess, progress or try to progress with that person. But if I'm seeing signs, I ain't feeling the vibe, whatever the case might be, I can't really rock with it. It's like,
What, is there, like, some questions y'all dodge on a date sometimes, though? Because it may reveal something about yourself that be like, all right, I've laid it out on the table already.
It's a little bit early.
Yeah, it's
shit. I want you to be open. Give me a reason to cut your ass off.
Oh my God, I went back to say that.
So what questions are those like that you could pinpoint, like, all right, based off of this answer, I know I'm not gonna rock with you like that?
I might ask somebody when the last time they been to church. You know, and like I said, it's not a big deal that somebody got to go every time. But you can ask the person that, and they might just straight out be like, oh, I don't fuck with that church shit, you know, stuff like that. Then it's like, why? Then I get deeper. Like, why? What's the deal? You know, what's really going on? I ask the person, like, if they complain about something or whatever going on. When last time you prayed? Did you pray about it? Just to see how they respond to that kind of stuff. Because if you ask them that and they, no, or I ain't really, you know, you can kind of get a feel for how they move when it comes to just the spirit, you know. And
you got a time limit as far as that, how long you been to church shit?
No, not really, because
because is it like a week?
No,
a month?
Hell no. Like, if a person just be like, dang, I ain't been in a minute, but from that, I feel like they may express that I ain't been in a minute, man. I need to go. I gotta go soon. I need to go one day. Then that's different. It could be months that they ain't been. I'm not gonna be like,
I'm gonna tell you. Before the last time I went to church with you on your birthday, I ain't gonna flip. I hadn't been to church since I was 17 years old, and I'm 32. And I just went with her. It was this year on your birthday.
Damn, was that just off the strength of, like, it's your birthday?
Yeah. That's something the homies do. It just like I said. It's
and
not.
I told him he needed to go to church.
Yeah, so it's like I wasn't avoiding it, because, like I said, I always felt like I was close to the Lord without that. So it's like, sometimes that word do something for you, but there have been situations where I was going through some shit and I pulled up on the preacher like a couple years ago and just had to talk with him one-on-one. So I did shit like that. If I'm really feeling that and I need that, I do that. I feel like I get more out of that than me sitting in the motherfucking crowd and there's 200 people out here and like, hey, man, talk to me. I need you to look me in my face. Like, man, hey, I got some shit going on. Hey, help me get up out this jam. You know, I might just need to hear them words of wisdom. So I do something like that. So I hope a woman don't goddamn look at me and be like, shit, when the last time you been to church and that's a deal breaker?
Like spiritual. You said that you have that relationship with God. Like, first and foremost, if you have a relationship with God, again, like for me, those outside factors of church and like being around a community that also worships, that's not like, that shouldn't always be your main priority. Your relationship with God should always be your main priority. So if you feel like you have that, like I wouldn't trip about, oh, I haven't been to church in so-and-so years. Like, you know what I mean?
Cause even with that, like, I used to go to church a lot with my auntie when I was a kid. And it's like the churches, especially the black churches, that shit is so different now. Like, I remember back then, well, they'll try to feed the homeless. If you struggling, folks will come together in the church to do shit for you. Nowadays, shit, they won't even let a homeless motherfucker walk through the damn door. It's like, what are you doing for the community? So it's like you going to these churches, these goddamn pastors driving Rolls Royces, flying jets and shit. And they goddamn might be $100 short on their damn light bill and can't even come to the church. And
they stunting on the drug dealers now.
Yeah, it's like what are you doing for the community? Why I need to come serve you? You ain't doing shit for me. You won't even help my people when we in need. So that's one of the main reasons too why I ain't been going to church.
And I can just tell off the strength of that, women probably dig that more than the dude going to church, like somebody who like
because a lot of these men that go to church don't necessarily be all right within. It's like they just do it because that's how they was raised. So they do
they feel like they got to.
So and then some of them they go to church and then leave the church and be out on the bullshit right after church. So
it sounds like you talking about 10 men right now, boy. You got about 10 niggas you thinking about right now like he ain't shit, he ain't shit.
That's what. So it's not so much of them being in the church. I think like a first date or a second, however it goes, conversations, when you just ask that question about when the last time they've been to church, you can get kind of that sense of where their head is when it comes to religion, when it comes to how they view things spiritually. You know, that's how it is for me. Because if somebody tell me they ain't been to church in a minute, I ain't gonna be like, nigga, bye. I ain't gonna do it.
So how open-minded are y'all when it comes to dating? Like
when it comes to dating?
Yeah.
Just, what you mean?
Well, in general, before I get specific, I'll say in general. So how open-minded are y'all when it comes to like, can she be different ethnicity? Can she make more money than you, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, yeah, I want a black man. I'm not saying that I would never in life date outside, but yeah, probably I've never have, and I don't have a desire to.
You talking about black in all spectrum, or just like? Nigga
black. I'm saying gotta do that. I'm saying like I don't have no desire for a white man or Latino man or Asian.
I was gonna say you ain't messing with the Afro Latina thing or Latino whatever.
No, I haven't. So
okay.
Just give me a black man. You know, he might have a little something mixed in. I ain't 100%. You know, look at my ancestry DNA. I got a little other stuff up in there. But as far as I think I'm actually pretty open-minded looking at these niggas that I have dated.
Damn.
Probably too open-minded, actually.
Damn.
She's finally decided to lower her standards.
Finally.
Is it lowering your standards, though? Is it really?
I keep hearing
or is
that.
it being more open-minded?
I keep hearing that from Atlanta women, like, these niggas ain't shit. I'm like, what you mean? I feel like they just, you know, women always be saying niggas ain't shit.
We have very limited stock here. Yes. Is what I learned when I moved here.
Y'all say that everywhere y'all go.
Nah, bruh.
Atlanta, and I'm from here. Too. Atlanta is tough when it comes to dating for women.
Even when I remember my brother was telling me when he was with his ex, they would go out on dates and the waitresses would hit on him in front of his girl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
that happen.
Yeah, they do that.
I don't know what I do.
So no, he wasn't feel like Aisha Curry or none of that.
Hell no, he felt like the nigga. He felt like he was the shit. Like he still do, because it's like Atlanta, like they really gas. I mean, he's the shit. Don't get me wrong, it's my brother, but like they really like women be after that nigga. He's single. He got so much going for himself. He ain't ugly. Like,
oh yeah, they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
for different.
Falls with me, I'm open. far as outside of my race, I would rather be with a black woman. But if I met anybody else, my main thing is she has to
Be my peace.
Nah, she has that too, but that's not the main thing. She got to be able to understand me, and I feel like half of the time, it is only going to be a black woman that'll understand me and why I think the way I think and why my mind work the way that it do.
I don't even know if the black women understand.
But I know I'm a lot to deal with, and it got to be a strong woman to deal, because I got a strong personality, and I know I'm probably outside of the norm as far as just being a man's man in the sense. So it's a woman would definitely have to be able to understand me and, just the vibe with me. So my main thing, I'm open to it, but I would rather be with a black woman. And I feel like if it is outside of my race, the only other race that may understand me is a minority. If you're not a minority, because most of the time, shit, we look at them, but shit, these Latinos and Mexicans, they go through the same shit we got.
So you ain't fucking with no Beckies, though.
Nah,
I was about to say, was you going down the line or that minority?
Yeah, that ain't a minority. You know what I mean?
No Irish chick?
Nah, I can't do that.
Statistically, they're supposed to be minorities in 2045. So you fucking with them then?
Nah. It's you got to somewhat relate to my background, because it have been some that I've tried in the past, and it's like, man, we might be looking at the same thing and see something totally opposite from each other, and then we always clash with that. They don't understand why I move the way I move and why I do what I do.
Too many questions.
It ain't even necessarily that. It's just, it's really not understanding. Like, okay, you say we can keep it 100. I get like an example of something that happened. I had a woman ask me, why you carry your gun everywhere you go? I said, shit, why not? How many motherfuckers I lost in the street, shit I ain't been through. I said, man, in my mind, I'm like, and this just how I think. And I think this just helped me survive. I'm like, man, it be that one time I don't have that motherfucking, it can cost me my life.
Nigga luck.
Exactly. So it's like I gotta carry that shit, and it's stuff like that where they don't understand, especially not just a black man, but a black man coming from them substandard conditions that I came from and how I grew up. Like, my mind, like, I'm always on edge. Yeah. My motherfucking head on the swivel like a goddamn rotating fan. I'm looking everywhere. Like, I got to know what the hell going on around me. Mm-hmm. And to a point where if the crowd too big, I might not even be able to enjoy myself, because I'm steady looking. And so it be things like that when it come to me for us with day. You just got to understand me and be able to handle me. I know I'm a lot to do.
It's an understatement.
Guess with me, I'm open-minded, but at the same time, like, being an immigrant, I know my parents expect me to bring home an Ethiopian man. And growing up in America, that's very hard to, there's Ethiopian men, I connect with them, but to actually find one, I'm like, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with you. Mind you, I'm 24, so let's chill. But it's very hard for me to connect with someone on that level, but I still want to, just off the bat of, I want to raise my kids in an Ethiopian household. I want us to have similar upbringings, because I don't want to have to, it's kind of like what you're saying of, I don't want to have to explain what I've been through and what I see in my future. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, the way me and my brother were raised, I plan on raising my kids the same way. And that might not connect with a Black American or a Latino or a white man. And that's just, for me, that's like almost a deal breaker. But at the same time, I have dated outside of my like ethnicity, where, West African, East African, Black. And I could see myself work it out in the future. I've learned through that, but it's still something I keep in the back of my mind, where it's like, okay, will we see eye to eye in 10 years when I'm ready to have kids and want more for myself? And there's something bigger than me. It gets a little bit more complicated when you kind of date outside of your culture. But at the same time, I don't want that to limit me, because you never know. Like, I've seen it work between anyone. So I don't limit myself when it comes to that, but that's always something on the back of my mind.
I was going to ask you, like, could you date, like, seriously date outside of your faith, and, like, even marry, like,
Outside of my faith, I can see myself seriously do it. Like I said, I look for that spirituality more than anything else. And as long as I want my kids to have the option. Let's say I do marry a Christian man, I want my kids to learn about both religions before they make their final choice. Like, it's going to be on them to make that choice, but I want to be like, okay, I taught them what's important in Islam. I taught them that love for God, and just everything that comes along with that. And the same for my husband if he's Christian. I want him to teach him the love for Jesus and all that. I want my kids to be well versed in all those things before they just like, you know, go out into the world. Because I think like the biggest problem with people who date outside of their religion, they don't find that understanding. If you don't have understanding and love for that person, you're never going to fully accept them for who they are. So as long as I can like find someone who understands me and why I pray the way I pray, worship the way I worship, I won't connect with them. I guess.
What about y'all? Could y'all date out like a Muslim person or even an atheist?
Ooh.
An atheist? No.
That's too far.
Yeah.
That's too far?
That's too
Yeah.
far.
Oh, so you stop at Christian.
I stop at, you have to believe in something. Like she said, I need a higher power.
What if you believe in like some spaghetti monster or some bullshit like that?
Man,
we be friends. I'll be cool to talk about. Like,
that nigga might be weird. He believe in spaghetti monster.
What if that's the Nick? He check off everything. That.
nah, that's a
He
big
just believe in
flaw
that
though.
bullshit.
Yeah, something wrong. with
You'll
spaghetti
see
monster?
something wrong.
But no, other religions, that's not gonna be that big of a deal for me. It just depends on how we mesh in our belief systems. Atheists, no, I can't.
What's the difference between believing in something and not believing in something? Like what? Like if she fits your description of a good woman, good man, do everything for you, but they just like I just don't believe.
For me, I think about the future. So, like, if we're going to have kids and try to raise a family, I don't want that to be this big confusion of, like, okay, daddy don't believe in nothing. Daddy feels like it ain't no God. And, you know, you telling the child that you're confusing that child. Like, I want my child to be able to, you know, have their own, to grow up and pretty much believe how they want to believe. I would prefer it to be a Christian belief system, but I don't want it to be where I'm telling my child to say grace and daddy doesn't say grace. I don't have to say grace when I'm with daddy. What am I thinking? Who am I thinking for this food? And, you know, that kind of stuff. I just think about all of that and how that could cause issues even in just the future of raising a family. I mean, if the man has a different belief system, but he believes in something, that could cause some disparities too with trying to raise a child. But I need the man to believe in something. I just.
You said at least.
At least.
You got to believe in something.
You know how we were raised. We were raised out believing in Christmas and
Right.
it's
And
like,
so, yeah.
Like how you bring someone home, what he believe in? I don't know, mama, nothing. Nah, bro.
Right. Like, oh, nah, he not going to celebrate Christmas. He not going to celebrate nothing. And
What if you just be like, what? Like, do you? Like, it ain't for me. You know what I'm saying?
But you want that time you want to spend with your family and be happy
Right.
and experience those things together.
Right.
So you just doing that and he or she out to the side like, oh man, I'm not fucking with
Right.
that. It's like you messing up the moment then.
Yeah. It's hard to like for me to connect to someone that doesn't have that like foundation in anything. Like if you
Right.
don't believe in anything, that's really hard for me to be like, I can't connect with that. And I don't know if it's because I don't understand it, most likely so, but
So
I
is there
can't.
like boundaries that y'all got when it comes to like, or like traditional values, basically, kind of sort of when you talk, you mentioned about raising a family. Like there's certain family times, like there's certain holidays that just match up together, and those holidays may be more Christian than regular American holidays. Like, is that something that you would be like, if you have a different faith, I can't even share this with you, or if you don't believe in nothing, like that's something that like I hold close to me. Like I can't even vibe with you on that.
Yeah, that might be hard even dealing with somebody of a different religion. I never done it before, so I can't say, but I would imagine that probably be a tough situation too. Cause I'm like, I don't understand it. I didn't come up in that type of household. I don't study this religion, and I don't like. It's all about, to me, the main things to make a relationship work to me is sacrifice, motivation, compromise, understanding. If we ain't got, of course that too, but if we ain't got those things, I think we bound to fail.
Damn.
that's real.
What was that list again?
right.
Understanding, sacrifice, compromise, motivation.
Communication.
At what point is a compromise too compromising?
It could be, but see, it had to be maybe some on a small scale in a sense. It may be, like, I didn't grow up in a household where every night at 8 o'clock, everybody better be at this dinner table. You know, but if there's something she believe in, I wouldn't mind doing that. I feel like that might make the bond more sacred. So I'd be willing to compromise. Like, whatever I got going on, at the end of the day, I need to make sure my at home at 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? You know, or my woman gonna be mad at me. So I don't mind sacrificing and compromising for the better.
But does it get to a certain point though? Like I would assume so. Like it gets to, what if she keep always moving the time around? You know what I'm saying? To where it is convenient to her. Or what if he?
Well, see, she ain't compromising with me. Then we gotta agree on this together.
Mm-hmm.
Once we agree on it together, shit, stick with it. That's how I look at it.
So, when it comes to you, as far as traditional values, do you think that you could date someone or marry someone of a different religion, and how would that, as far as you was talking about kids as well, like how would co-parenting that be?
Right. And I can't say I wouldn't date somebody of a different religion. I never have. I just feel like it could cause some issues, but I wouldn't be close to it. Now, as far as marrying, I can't say because I never went down that road to experience that with somebody. So I would be open to just seeing how that is as far as dating or whatever and go from there. I don't know. With certain things, though, like if somebody don't celebrate Christmas, like, yeah, like he was saying, I want to be able to celebrate that with my kids, and I don't want my kids to, Mommy, why is Daddy not, why is he over there and not interacting? Or we go to the store to buy gifts for other family members. Mommy, can we buy this for Daddy for Christmas? And like, Daddy don't celebrate Christmas. So I just feel like that could create those type of issues. And for me, I kind of want to raise my family, in a sense, the way I was raised when it comes to religion or, my belief system. But I'm not going to say I'm close to it. Like, hell no, if they ain't Christian, if they didn't go to a Baptist church, hell no, I can't fuck with
So your family would be like, they'll have some words for you about that.
No, because my family is not like that. We weren't that every Sunday we're in the church without fail. Like, it wasn't to that extent, to that extreme or whatever. But I think, if I ain't taking nobody home as atheists or nothing like that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it just kind of depends on what their religion entails and what their traditions are in their religion, to where my family might be like, what the hell they doing, But my family wouldn't be that extreme.
So, like, for example, Neems, what if you was dating a dude but you've come to realize, like, he do voodoo on the side.
Oh, voodoo. So we just switched it up.
I'm just we can't just stay we just can't talk about it like the.
So is voodoo a religion? Is that considered a religion?
It's not a religion, but it's part
of
a
practice,
culture.
I guess. It's a practice within.
But they
coming in there, how you got some dead chicken heads,
honestly,
heads in the cloud.
But like before you figured that out, he was a good dude to you, and like you was really feeling him. Like, do you got certain prejudice? Like, I know, like, there's certain religions that everybody got prejudice, like, thoughts about. Like, there's just some things that just don't make sense. So, like, can they still, like, be that perfect person for you and then, like, still have that and be like,
Serious question. Is he practicing voodoo? Like, I come home and I witness him with some voodoo dolls. Nah, I'm cool.
That's what he do.
Because, but you gotta.
He ain't just cooking with them chicken bones. Like.
Nah, bro. I'm going to strategically exit left because I just don't want to put myself in a situation because you never know what voodoo.
Why would you think that, though?
I don't want to get myself in because I'm African, bro. I'm
African too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That shit's real. Like, I'm not.
I understand. I'm just saying, like, but what if you vibe? Like, what if the vibe's good, energy good?
That vibe's gonna not be good.
There might be a
day
that I might piss them off one day, and next thing I woke up with like no thumb. Exactly. Like, you never.
That's
I don't
if he
risk.
like
That's a
on
risk.
some crazy. So
he could be, and I might not know it.
Why do you think that's associated with voodoo?
Because I've seen it in the movies, and that's all I know.
I've heard it growing up. My grandparents told me these stories. I've heard of things happening.
The spaghetti,
my
the
parents
draws.
have seen it. Oh,
spaghetti and draws.
Please
don't eat the spaghetti. The burying the draws, the hair. Yeah, I done heard a lot of shit.
There's a real.
I heard a story. I don't know how true this shit was, but I remember. I can't remember exactly who I heard it from, but it was like this dude. He was fucking with some woman, and they said she was practicing voodoo or whatever, and like she was like every time the nigga went over her house, she would put his shoes at the foot of her bed. And
so he couldn't leave.
Yeah, and it got to a point where the nigga would just always come. Like, man, that nigga might
always
walk
come
miles to this motherfucking house.
Out
And I'm like, man, what the fuck? I'm like, nah, I can't do that shit. I ain't trying to get caught up in nothing like that, man. Hell
Yeah,
nah.
I just rather veer.
So which ones? So the ones y'all cool with is the Islamic faith, the Jewish faith.
I can't really say what I'm cool with because I haven't interacted like even with my group of friends.
Or entertain, because it sounds like you'll entertain like certain like if they you is a Muslim dude, you know what I'm saying, he gonna look like Mahershala Ali or something, like you be like, yeah, I'll rock with the motherfucker. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, I'll give this a try.
Yeah, I'll be open minded to just see how conversations flow, see how the vibe flow. But if I ain't feeling it.
What about the physical attraction? Like, man, I can't, like, damn, baby, I need you
Physical
throwing
That only lasts so long.
throwing a sexy dress or something. I can't rock with you wearing that right there, man. I'm going to take you out.
Of course he gonna bring up the physical
I
attraction.
was gonna bring that up too, my
Of course
damn
y'all
self. I was
Okay,
like,
so go on.
I was
Go
gonna
on,
say,
physical attraction.
At what point is it just like, man, this is a bad little bit right here? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, she's sexy as hell.
Y'all overlook all of that other shit.
So y'all just
talking.
yeah.
Hey, good
She
pussy.
might practice
Good pussy will
voodoo.
do something to you.
Right.
It's that voodoo
Nah,
that's going
that's exactly.
telling her,
Gonna
ain't
make it
doing
crazy.
that.
Nah, you'll do it.
Nah,
You'll do it. She gonna
shit.
be like, man, I'ma just fuck this bitch
Nah,
one
hell
time
nah.
and
And then you
out.
caught up 3 years
Hell
later.
nah, I'm just scared of hell.
Outside her
Hey,
window.
Hey, bro, don't they say the crazy ones got the best ones? Like,
Man, that too crazy. I ain't trying to goddamn go down that motherfucking path.
Nigga gonna go to her
Set
house and
yourself
gonna be a
up.
little light skinned doll laying there. Gonna be like, what the fuck?
Nah, man, hold the fuck up. Finna take that motherfucking shit the hell on.
you say you gonna take your old dog?
Yeah, I'm finna take that
Like
bitch
you
with
gonna
me.
grab a doll and then you gonna get a pain. Oh shit.
You gonna, yeah, you might have, that might be a fucked up situation. But now, I feel like the reason I'm asking all these questions because I feel like we always gotta to know yourself is to confront yourself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like really ask yourself these questions because I ask myself this and I'm like, I may take things a little further with another person just off the fact that we share the same religion. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was kind of like weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, why is, like I was mentioning to y'all, what if they're a good woman, bad as hell, you know what I'm saying, got everything that I be asking, but like just because you may believe something else, I might be like, I can't.
But you wouldn't be concerned that may cause issues down the line? Like,
But if it hasn't already, like for me, when I think about the future, I don't always like to predict everything
Yeah.
because sometimes you prevent
You
a lot
won't
of your
enjoy it.
start,
you prevent a lot of blessings doing that
Yeah.
by just trying to map everything out the way you want it to see. Like, and you already know, like you ain't never working on your own time. It's God's time.
Yeah, true.
So it's just like, but at the same time, I that's what you're kind of doing, right? Like you kind of mapping, like, oh, I can't go down this path. Like this
that's
reality
why I say
ain't for
I
me.
feel like I'm gonna pay attention to the signs and stuff. Like if it's a good man and I feel like, okay, he got majority of what I feel like I need out of a partner, out of a spouse, out of, and something is off with the religion or his spiritual beliefs and stuff like that. At that point, I'm going to pray about it. And I do feel like anytime I've ever prayed about a situation with anybody that I've been dating or whatever, I get signs. Now, my dumb ass might have ignored some of them back in the day, but I get the signs. And if it's right and it's meant to be, I feel like I'm grounded in my faith to feel like I'm gonna make the right decision.
Would you convert?
No.
No.
Yeah,
Strong no.
I didn't even finish the question.
Strong no.
it's gonna be that simple for me too.
Nah.
You would convert. Would you want your partner to convert for you?
No, I wouldn't. If they are strong in their faith and their belief system, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I need you to come be a Christian or be in the Baptist church. They could be a Christian and be Catholic or something. I'm not gonna say, oh, I want you to start going to, Baptist churches and stuff like that. Nah. Because if we mesh well as is, making somebody convert, basically trying to change who they are, that may not mesh well at that point then. They might not be comfortable in my belief system. It may not resonate with them.
What if they comfortable like with you, and they trust you? So it's like, well,
I still feel like that's converting for the wrong reason.
Right.
Because you should be converting for God. It's
Right.
for God, not for that person you love. Because, like, at least in Islam, when someone converts to Islam, they shouldn't be converting for their spouse. They should be converting because they found Allah. They shouldn't be converting because they're marrying a Muslim person. It seems more fake. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of people that do just so they can get accepted. And
so how do you know it's organic then?
That's the hard part. That's on that person. I've had people in my family that converted to Islam that I don't know if they really resonate with the religion, but they did it because the majority of my family is Muslim. I know people that have converted to Christianity, and I could see that they have that love for God and they truly believe in Jesus and they accept Jesus. So it just kind of depends. I don't know. I can't answer that question myself because I only resonate with Islam. So I couldn't see myself convert for another religion. I don't think I'd have that.
How do you know if you like changing for someone or because of someone?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like at what point, Dr. Trill?
Changing for someone or because of
Like
someone?
we all stomped.
No,
Yeah.
but how?
I guess I would look at that as is being, one would be a negative and one would be a positive.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm changing for someone, that means she's had a positive effect on me and starting to help me see things in a better light. Now, if I'm changing because of someone, usually that's a person bringing me down to their level.
I think
I
it's the
kinda
other way
inverse.
around.
Yeah.
see,
I think it's the reverse.
For me.
well, see,
Well,
at
yeah, for me.
yeah, see,
All right,
For me,
all right, go ahead. Y'all talk on it then.
yes, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, me changing for somebody, I feel like I wouldn't be organically changing. I'm changing my ways to satisfy that person.
Right.
I'm doing it all for them.
Right.
Now, if I change because of them, it's because they done inspired me, because they've done something that just makes me want to grow, because change and growth, to some extent, it can be synonymous. So I feel like if I'm changing because of them, it's more of who they are and what they're doing that's inspiring me, pushing me to become better, pushing me to change to that next level. For
Right.
them, it's like, oh, this nigga don't like when I wear heels that's 4 inches, so let me start wearing kitten heels. That would be like me changing for that person,
Right.
not because of that person. That's how I looked at the
Right.
for and because.
You agree with her?
Yeah, that's exactly how I was looking at it. Like when you change for someone, it's kind of like you're changing yourself to fit their standards, fit their mold, and you're losing yourself at that. Versus in a relationship, you should grow. And like they should inspire you to be the best version of yourself. And if that causes you to change some of your habits, like make you uncomfortable, that might be better than you actually losing parts of yourself to fit what they want you to be, if that makes sense.
Right. And I think the change, in a way, it will be like if you're changing for that person, you're going to consciously be changing. You're
Right.
consciously making an effort to do something different, changing for them. Because of them, it's going to be more organically. You may not even realize
it.
you're doing it until after the fact, and you be like, dang, this person got me doing blah, 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 blah. And you're not looking at it as a negative. You're not looking at it like, this person got me doing this
Right.
bullshit. It's like, dang, I ain't started doing this till I started, dating this person or whatever. And,
Right.
I like this part of me, That's how I look at it. So,
Yeah, I was just saying it more so in the sense, like, if you changing, like, damn, I'm changing it to the, just say if I was with a woman that like to argue and fight all the time. Now I've been in this situation so long, it done changed me. Well, the next time I meet somebody, I might not even know how to handle a problem without it becoming a confrontation, because I'm so used to being argumentative with this person. Now that shit has caused me to change because of them. In a sense, now I got to get back to me and try to block that out and don't have and leave those bad habits. So that's how I was looking at it in a sense like that.
How do you know if it's like when do you know which one is which? Because like again, if we talking about spirituality and our faith, like you don't know where your faith taking you. Like, and how do you know? This is a real question. Are you able to be converted? And it's going back to the converted thing, like naturally though, like not more of like, oh, I'm doing it because of you. But like, what if someone just asked the right questions and just spitting that right knowledge to you? You be like, damn, I can't even really
think
argue with it.
That point, that's when it goes back to seeing whether or not it's gonna be a conscious thing or something that's just organically happening. Like if you're consciously saying, oh, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna change this way, and if you gotta if it's almost like a chore, then that's when I feel like it's not naturally happening, and that's how I feel like I would be able to differentiate if I'm thinking like, oh shit, I gotta do this, or this person, this is what they do in their religion, so let me kind of do that too, even though I ain't really, then I'm changing for them. That's how I feel like. But otherwise, if it's just something that's happening and I'm not really always making a conscious effort to do that stuff, then that's when I think it's more natural.
It's not because of the good dick at all.
Wait a minute.
We gonna talk about good dick in religion. I mean, oh my God.
It's blasphemous.
He's been religiously giving you that good wood.
Yeah, I don't know. Good dick will make you do some.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
shit.
how would you know if you
find
like,
God?
like to fight? That's what I'm saying. When you gonna fight it? Like,
I don't know. I just
like you couldn't see yourself become Christian.
That nigga just fucked it out of you.
I don't see it. Like for me, I don't.
You gonna make you
Okay.
say Jesus?
Stop for laugh, man. Stop for laugh. I'm thinking for me, it's more of I might understand the religion better and accept it more. I'm already accepting of the religion, honestly. But for me to like denounce my religion and be like, yeah, I believe only in Jesus Christ and he died for my sins is like a very big step because a lot of us, we grew up with that religion. It's who we are. And I like, when I committed to Islam, it was a big deal for me. And even then, I don't think I'm like the best Muslim. I try to be, but God knows. So it's just like one of those things where it's like, if you want someone to convert, or not maybe, if you're looking at someone to convert, I guess, it has to be that organic change where like they just really connect with it. You're asking them these questions. You're talking more. Like, for example, for me, I didn't realize how spiritual I was till this dude I was talking to was like, yeah, I really don't care about religion. I'm just more about like, you know, does this person believe in God? Do they understand me? And do they love me and God? Like, you know, like that, if there's that just understanding and love there, that's when I realized I'm more of a spiritual person versus me just being a Muslim woman. I think that's a bigger.
So you divided on that front too. Like if someone's like more religious than spiritual.
Yeah, that's a big thing for me.
What's the difference?
The way I grew up, religion was not because of how I was raised, I guess, but like what I saw around me. A lot of people use religions kind of to control others and limit certain people, whether it's Christianity or Islam. I feel like it took it away from being about you and God and made it, oh, this person wants you to be a certain way. You should wear hijab
like
if you want this, or you should go to church every Sunday to be accepted in that. And I didn't like that control over someone when I think it should be between you and God itself. And if I don't find that with my dude, like if he doesn't have that connection between him and God only, and he's only doing it just to show up every Sunday, or he wants our girls just to wear the hijab to be respected versus it being the love for God, there's like certain things I'm like, oh, that's a red flag for me. Like it needs to be a natural, organic love for God, and that's what's most important to me versus anything else, versus like the religion and going to Juma every Friday or church every Sunday. I just need that like organic love for God.
How y'all feel about that?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. That's basically what I was saying from the jump. I totally agree with
What if y'all in the same religion and y'all still
Not on the same level of spirituality.
Oh,
Like-
I see that a lot.
like
Yeah.
because I feel like religion is in politics a lot too, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
this
it
country was like, you know, even on money, like it's, you know, in God we trust and stuff like that. So like with everything that goes on in the South in particular, it's very conservative, it's very religious area, but like you'll see some people be like, you know, I'm pro-choice, pro-life, you got that abortion ban and stuff like that. And what if both of y'all have Christian faith, but he like, I'm with it, or she's like, I'm with it? Does that, depending on where your stance is, how do y'all feel about that?
That I feel like a whole conversation would have to be had. Like I need to know. I'm an analytical person, so I need to know why you with it or why you ain't with it, or I need more detail. Cause you could be with we could have opposing viewpoints, and you may have a good point for why, you know, something might have happened in your life that you feel like is the reason why you are, you know, in the stance you are, versus I have an opposing view. I can't just say, oh, because we don't agree. We both might be Christian, but we don't agree on, like you said, the whole abortion thing. I can't get mad at that depending on what the reasons are. So it really just depends on the more in-depth information from our opposing viewpoints.
See, I used to be like that until Trump came into power. And I realized, especially being from Indiana, there's a lot of people I don't fuck with just off of they could be religious, they could be Muslim or Christian, and like the sweetest people I've known my whole life. And then they come out about why they support Trump or why they're supporting these abortion bans or why we should build the wall. And you're like, yo, like, I can't understand that. I haven't talked to those people since for me.
It
Yeah, that's
exposed
why I
a lot
said
of
it's the-
character traits.
Right,
Right,
that's
like,
like
I'm
it's
out.
the background information for me. Like, well, I don't. Somebody supporting Trump. I don't know.
Right.
Nah, fam. I don't even need no background.
I don't want the
information.
background. You know, that's what I'm getting at.
Something
Like, I don't want
I
that.
don't need the background information on that. But it's just, I guess, it's an array of different things that we can have opposing viewpoints on.
Right.
That I would feel like, okay, I can't just tell this person.
Basically,
you.
it depends
Yeah.
on what it is.
What it
Right.
is.
Like, can I be
Yeah.
understanding of this or can I not?
Right, because
Can I
some
have
stuff
yeah,
I probably just be like, the
peace.
fuck?
Like
Trump.
for real.
So everything depends. That's a interesting thing to say, and I think everybody agreed with that. When it comes to everything depends, then like how I'm still trying to figure out how, like, is that being really open minded, or is that being more like you got to be in this box, or like you got to be in this area? Because then if it's one or the other, one is like, oh, okay, that's something that most people will naturally say, but it's good that you feel. The other one be like, oh, well, then you kind of are a little hypocritical with as far as your openness to other things. Because what we're all saying, and I'm not saying I disagree with y'all on that. I'm just saying, like, we all say it's like when you ask somebody, like, oh, what kind of music you like? Oh, I like all types of music. Then when you like, oh, you like reggae? You like jazz? You like Beethoven? You be like, nah, I really just fuck with, you know, this trap music and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, well, then you really don't like music like that. And it kind of makes you question, like, damn, well, then what do I like? And when he goes back to a more serious topic, like, damn, do I even know who I am? You know what I'm saying?
Well, certain situations that make me question your motives. They're just like if I was to get with a white girl and she like, I really like you and really care for you, but I really hate black people. Like,
No, they're out there.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
but
but it's
that's
like,
a little,
I can't fuck with you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
extreme.
My first question be like, damn, why'd you fuck with me?
yeah, and that's what
Right.
I'm saying.
I'll be like, damn, my dick must be that good.
Yeah,
Get
man.
out.
To the racist to a
Exactly. That's why I said shit like that'll make me question your motives, and I could never get comfortable with
get
you.
the Klan on your ass.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying. I can't trust you. I can't be safe around you and trust that you would have my back in a certain situation.
Get
So
your
it's like
keys.
you might be Christian. We might share the same beliefs. But that right there, draw the line. Like, you fuck with me, but you really don't like black folk. Nah, I can't goddamn
I think
do
for
that.
a lot of us, it's like that human rights line. Like for music, I'll be like, yo, I listen to anything. Like I go from Nina Simone to Jay-Z to the Gorillaz to Jack Johnson. Like my music taste is everywhere, right? But then someone's be like, yeah, I feel like women shouldn't have like the right to have an abortion. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Fuck you, nigga. Like, what's up? Like, I don't want to hear your points on that
Right.
one. You know what I mean? Like, I have a
so there's
human rights.
So
That's
then,
my line.
So then, but are you willing to listen on it though?
I've tried growing up in Indiana. Okay, let me give you an example of me trying to be understanding of someone. It was my AP US history class, and we were talking about 9/11. And only Muslim kid in my class, of course. Not the only black kid, though. And this white kid, who I thought was my friend, we were talking about 9/11 and the impact it had on people. Mind you, 2 of my dad's cousins died in Twin Towers. And this kid has the nerve to say, he was saying why he doesn't trust Muslim people. He's like, well, the only Muslims that died in 9/11 were the terrorists. And I'm just like, yo, like I can't even try to wrap my head around. I asked him, I was like, what made you even think that was okay to say? Who told you these lies? Do you read can you read? I don't believe he knows how to read books or anything at that point, because I'm just like, that's so ignorant for you to cross a line like that, knowing that I'm Muslim especially. So for me, it's like when you try to be understanding of people with very narrow views when it comes to certain debates and topics, that's when it's very, at least for me, it's very hard for me to be understanding. Like I'll try to listen to it, but I'm just like, you don't even make sense. Because like if you listen to these opinions about like for the abortion ban, if you hear what these governors, senators, whatever, what they've said in the past about abortion, about rape, you see their stances on that, and you can't understand that. One of them said that if a woman got raped, there's nothing she could do about it. And if a woman gets raped, there's nothing she could do about it in that situation. It's inevitable, so just enjoy it. Literally, I think that was the Alabama one.
Oh, hell
Alabama
no.
governor said that. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to even hear your stance on abortion? I don't want to if you believe that a woman should enjoy her rape.
See, for me, I think I don't know. I might be a weird person because like I'm willing to have conversations that go down that road because I'm really curious as to like why you think the way you think. I'm more curious about that when it comes to a person more than what they actually, sometimes more than what they're saying. Like there are certain things it's like, okay, there's no need to have a further conversation. But when someone who, like you said, it was a friend of yours. So
Right.
you've had other conversations, other relations, other
Right.
situations you've been with, to where you just can't really dismiss them like that.
Right, you
At
gotta
least
check 'em
You kind of just gotta be like, how did you even get to that point?
Right.
So I'm willing to have those like, if someone doesn't agree with the abortion ban, and they say it's because like I just want, you know what I'm saying, why take away a potential life?
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, I'll be like, well, what about rape and all the other stuff? And they'll be like, well, there's been kids who've grown up who were childs of rape, and they became, you know,
Right.
productive people. Should they, you know what I'm saying? They'll be,
Yeah.
they're saying like when you
There's
talking
logical.
to, when you talking
There's
to a
some
rational
logical,
person, like
yeah.
they can bring you down a path where you be like, well, damn, like, why do I even believe the way I believe?
But what do you do when you're stuck in your ways of, well, it's a woman's body, so I still believe she should have the choice. So, like, you just, sometimes it's like talking to a brick wall where y'all will never see eye to eye in that. And sometimes I'm just like, I don't even want to. You get tired.
See, with me, it'd be on what aim I'm on. For me to go down that path, my aim would be, it brings you back to the slogan of keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I want to know what you think, so I know if you plan on attacking me, I know how to handle you.
Okay.
Like for real, like
3 steps ahead.
I need to know what's really on your mind, like what you really. And so I would sit down and have that conversation, because if you let a person talk, they'll overspeak themselves sometimes.
Yeah, they'll tell you about themselves.
Yeah, so it's like it's for me to have that information for my own safety.
Yeah.
So I sit down and have that talk with you strictly off of that, because you might be saying a whole lot of dumb shit. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I know exactly how to handle you.
Yeah, because you're trying to see how far they will take it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that'll be my aim of sitting down talking to somebody like that.
Yeah, I can tell you probably like a people watcher or something like that.
Yeah.
You make sure you. I'm kind of the same way. Like, there's certain things that you just got to be aware of, and conversation is interesting. That communication that you can kind of really see somebody like, oh yeah, you ain't shit. You just
try to be more like y'all,
Yeah.
more open minded. Like,
I mean,
hear these people out.
it's sometimes. I mean, it's not like it's all good conversation. Like,
Right.
it's some bullshit. Some, you know, you probably fought a couple niggas just because of a conversation. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on what type of vibe and energy they on.
Oh, that's real. That's
Exactly.
real.
So when it comes to a relationship, like, how much work are y'all willing to do to really get in the mud of it?
Just far as what you mean, be more specific.
Like,
with that.
okay,
What's the mud?
the mud is just, I mean, the mud is life.
Ugh.
But like, cause there's some serious shit that happen in life, and you want to have somebody, a partner, that can like go through that shit with you, help you get out of some shit. You know what I'm saying? And if you're already in it, can just, you know, weather the storm with you. How do you know you got somebody like that, and how do you keep somebody like that?
I guess when you really in the time of need, because a lot of people will turn their back on you and act like they don't even know you needed the help.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you really going through a tough time, that shit expose who's really there for you. Because when you got to do something for somebody else, that shows how genuine you is. It's easy to have your hand out. It's harder to lend that hand.
What if you on the reverse end? How much of a hand are you gonna lend out to a woman or to a man?
Well, for one, for me to keep doing it, I got to see you really trying. Now, if I feel like you not trying, you had you not self-driven, have no ambition, I ain't gonna keep doing it because now I'm feeling like I'm crippling you now. So if I really care about you, I ain't gonna continue to cripple you like that. So I do it, you know, a number of times, but I got to see what you doing for yourself first.
How you feel?
So the question was, how much work would we be willing to put into a relationship?
Yeah.
I feel like it's all about compromise. So I'm willing to put in the work, because if this is somebody that I really feel like deep down that I'm supposed to be with, somebody that, you know, I just, it's like, I don't want nothing else. This what I want. I want it to work. So I'll put in the work, but there comes a time when it's like, are they putting in the work too? Because it takes two to tango. Like, I can't just be putting in all the work. I can't be fighting for the relationship and they're just sitting around chilling or doing the same shit that keeps getting us to that point of having to fight. So I think I'm willing to work as hard as the other person. And in some cases, it's harder just depending on what the situation could be at hand. Sometimes one person may have to work a little harder than the other, but both people have to be working. You have to put in everything that it takes to make that particular relationship work. And if they're not, then it's only so much of a burden I'm going to carry at some point.
Like this, so you mentioned time. Does time play a factor as far as like the older you get, the less bullshit you're just trying to deal with in general?
Yeah,
So like,
yeah.
so that, I mean,
It's
that
not
could
that
be
you're
kinda-
dealing with less bullshit. You just realize what bullshit you need to focus on.
Right.
So you're like, all right, this person's kind of just dragging me down. We're not focusing on the right things if I'm still worried about childish shit that they're on.
And then I have to look at the value. I always feel like that's important. I got to look at the value that that person adds to my life. And if their value is not significant enough for me to feel like, oh, I got to really fight for this, I got to really do woot, 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 then I probably slowly but surely back out. Because it's like what she said, if they're bringing you down, they could be bringing you down. It could be something you really want to work, but after a certain period of time, it's just, you gotta go left or go right. You can't just.
what makes you go left or go right? That's kind of where I'm getting. Like, what's y'all breaking point? Like, because if it's in the mud, like you said, you could be on the business end of that. Like, somebody could be really weighing on you. You'd be like, damn, like this motherfucker, like I fuck with him and all that, but it's just it's getting to that point. It's just too much. Like that could be when they need you the most.
For me to get to a breaking point, I gotta feel like I've become repetitive at that time. If I'm constantly telling you this shit and telling you and nothing is changing, I'll be out. I ain't gonna continue to stick around. I've done that in the past before, and I told myself, man, I never do that shit again. So if I see again going down that road, man, fuck it, I'm gone.
What made you continue on that first time?
I guess it was just young and dumb and learning, just trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Or just being in a situation prematurely. So it's like, I'm thinking I'm fighting for the right reasons, and then you get to a point where you're like, you got to realize people are who they are.
Yeah.
When it comes to certain things, like a motherfucker ain't gonna change. You know, I feel like habits can change, but character traits can't. That's what I believe.
That's real.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was looking back at my past relationship that I was in way too long.
You saw a slideshow real quick.
Hey, way too long. Yeah, when you have to keep telling that person something, and it's like you trying to work with them and it comes to a point where you just gotta be like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Like,
So is that more going towards like you thinking about like youthful relationships, or is that like currently going on? Because I always feel like when you young, I feel like there's an age limit when you could really take someone seriously in a relationship. Because the stories that I hear from men and women, it's usually around a certain age range, right? Like, it's real hard to see a successful relationship start between the years of 18 and 25, right? Like,
and it really go back to, I remember my mom used to always tell me, boy, enjoy your goddamn 20s. Don't be trying to be tied down to nobody, and nobody never
Drake said it
listen.
too. He said, married in your 20s, where the fun in that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but that's where if you're trying to plan out your life, you know what I'm saying? You be like, I'm going to try to be married between, like 27, 28, 29, have kids in your early 30s. That way you ain't too old and you can run around with the little motherfuckers too. You know what I'm saying? But to really know somebody, if you can ever really know somebody, you got to start earlier than that. You don't just hop into a marriage, right?
Right.
You be like, I need a niece know you for like 2-3 years or something. So it's like, that's in that age range where you get in that trial and error. Do you think like maybe you should, once you in your 30s, that's when you really like, to be honest, that's when you probably out of college, out of school, or like when you got some bread on you or something, you can buy a house, do something, like you can really be financially and hopefully all the experiences you had in the past emotionally ready to be serious. Like, do you think you should wait till your 30s?
It's pros and cons to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't necessarily think you should wait till your 30s because you still need that experience. Like, for me,
No, I mean, like, you can still date, but seriously date.
I still feel like because even just casually dating in your 20s, you'll learn some stuff. But if your mind is not there where you're trying to seriously date, then it's still going to be some lessons you're going to have to get when you start seriously dating. So Yeah, because
you're kind of just putting it off if you wait until your 30s, in my opinion. Like, I understand that, like, will be more financially stable, maybe more emotionally developed, I guess. But if you're just putting it off to your 30s, I just feel like you're kind of avoiding the inevitable.
Right.
And you're avoiding, like, you might miss out on certain experiences that you gained while, like, you know, dating and maybe even seriously committing in your 20s. I don't know if that makes sense.
Because I learned a lot. Because now I learned now, like, what I'm not putting up with.
Right.
How I need to handle this situation. What I need to do if something like this occurred or whatever the case may be. So it's like, I feel like you wait till your 30s to do that shit. You just
you're gonna be a little behind.
Yeah, you're gonna be way behind.
And it may be even worse because you're older and now it's like, what the fuck?
Right. Like, I think we don't give ourselves enough credit just because there's never a right time to do something is what I learned. Like, whether it's like, if a nigga want to be with you and he's saying it like it's not the right time, he don't want to be with you. If he's saying, oh, I just want to commit in my 30s, I'm like, all right, then live your life. You'll find someone in your 30s then. Like, I don't, if that's not what I want. You know what I mean? Like, I want to have my first kid. I'm a planner. You know this. I want to have my first kid by like 31, 32, you know, ideally. So that means I have to meet someone.
Is that not limiting though? Like, because what if you meet the love? Like, I always feel like I got this theory in my head. Like, I got like, there's 5 people in the whole world that's like your soulmate.
Yo, I believe in that too.
The only thing is they scattered across the whole, like, you may never get to interact with them. Like, in one lifetime, you may meet 3. That's lucky. In one lifetime, you may meet none. You may meet 1, and you probably broke up with that person at the time, but you at least met them. And it's just like, so going off of that, it's like, you don't know if with that small amount of number, because, like, there's, like you said, like, bro, like, I'm a lot to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only a certain type of woman that can deal with me, or for anyone else, like, a certain type of man that could deal with them. Are you limiting yourself by
putting that like
your mindset?
Time? Yeah.
With your not even just your mindset, but just with the list that you have, the things that you traditionally are bound to. Is there anything that can come off of that?
I just believe that, you know, God's up there and he's looking out. He doesn't want me to die alone. It's a really funny belief, but that really just is what gets me through when I like have a dude and it don't work out. I'm like, cool, there's somebody else out there.
Shit happens for a reason.
And I've grown from it. I'm better from it. I learned more about what I want. Like, that list was long and now it got a little bit smaller, got a little bit shorter. Because I realized, like, one, I've asked for too much in the past. I get that. But it helped me grow, like, all the different guys I've like dated and like got to know, and like it helped me know more about myself, and it showed me, all right, so like you're going towards being able to handle a serious relationship. I don't think we have to wait till our 30s just to see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I know, like I said, I know I'm a lot to deal with, but I'm not just gonna be like, she seemed weak, I ain't gonna fuck with her.
Right.
You know what I mean? It might be something else to her that she just not showing me right now. So I at least give it a chance, you know, just to see. I gotta try and see, because if I don't, I always think like, damn, what if I did? So I at least try it.
What about you?
What was the original question? Because we done said so much.
Yeah.
The mud.
So, with you at the stage of your life right now, as you get older, as you get more experiences, are you becoming more open-minded or more closed-minded?
That's a good ass question. If I'm more open or closed-minded, I think I'm a little bit of both. So with and I won't call it closed-minded, it's just at this point in life, it's certain shit that I'm not gonna put up with. I done been there, done that, and through dating and through having a long relationship, I learned the things that just won't mesh with me. Certain things is not gonna resonate with me in the long run. So I won't say I'm closed-minded. It's just certain shit is just not gonna mesh, and I think that's period, because we're all human and we're all different. So just because I don't like that one thing, that doesn't mean that's a bad person. They could have everything good about them, but that just really may be something that I feel within my spirit and my soul that's not for me. And as far as open-minded, I've tried to be open-minded in dating out here, and I'm not sure it really works well for me. Like, you know.
At least you're honest.
It's reverted right back to what she's used to.
There's some things that you just don't like, though.
When he put
That don't
pineapples on
work.
your pizza or something, you like,
I love pineapples on my pizza.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
Oh.
pineapples and pepperoni. But no, no, like I try to be open-minded in
Or
dating.
he brought some handcuffs in the bedroom or something like that. You're like,
I'm cool with that too.
Oh, good for you.
so you are open-minded then.
I gotta really trust a motherfucker.
I was saying
Like
that
you're
could be an easy lick, right?
Yeah, I gotta trust him. I ain't gonna be in the bedroom with a nigga I don't trust anyway. So
Okay.
yeah, I gotta trust him, man. We ain't about to just be no. But if I trust him, I fuck with him. There's an array of things that
The lead the key right here.
we can do. But no, it's just in dating, like even the type of man that I would typically go for. I've tried to be open-minded with that in the past. It just didn't work. It's just shut the fuck up, Tonio, because I know you want to say some shit.
Go ahead.
You done said it on like probably about 10 of our episodes. She has a type. No.
She refused to admit that. I'm like, look at the niggas you attracted to and who you
They've been the niggas I've dated have been different.
That's
the
okay.
nigga I was in a
Go
relationship
into
with
that.
does not even fit this little stereotype.
Go into that, bro. What's the how do you know somebody's type? Like, what would you say her type is?
What would you?
light skin.
And I want you to, and I'm gonna ask you the same
Interesting.
question.
light skin, tall, and swole.
Oh my god.
That's her type. Am I lying?
Nothing
So you
else.
got
But
you
you're
got a
just
big
talking
ass
about
poster of The Rock in your bedroom or
No,
something?
hell no. So see, why my type just got to be based on appearance though? Why it can't be
No,
deeper than
I'm
that?
saying that's what we somewhat
He
speaking
didn't
of.
specify.
Well, I think that's what he was talking about because you said something far as like.
No, I
Or is
mean
that what you
across
heard?
across the
See?
board. So like, I
Okay.
mean, but obviously, so that's the physical.
That's all he say, but that's not true.
So that means
my
you-
ex
that
But
means-
that
you
I
won't
was in a-
you won't even find out nothing else if you don't get past that.
my ex that I was in a fucking 8.5-year relationship was not light skinned. He was not tall.
Answer that question though. Am I lying?
That's what I like. That I like.
Pause.
Yeah,
That I
you're
like.
part of the physical
light-skinned
attraction.
I like that. I won't necessarily say that's my type because even from the situation
No.
episode, nigga number 2 ain't tall. Nigga number 2 ain't swole.
But
so
see, this is what she do. If you ask her like, the only nigga she ever admitted that was fine when she said, "Oh, that nigga fine," is that type. Everybody else is, "Oh, he cute. He okay."
But
Yeah.
that's just physical. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean that's like,
touche.
you know, we all got a physical type.
But we
I
all,
guess.
Right.
is that where it starts though with everybody? Physical? It got to be a
I
physical
think it
attraction.
has.
It has
Yeah.
to, cause you don't know
key.
nothing else.
Yeah.
When
In
you
certain
first
situations, when I met my ex in school, I won't say that I was initially like, oh shit, I want to talk to him. It was kind of like we were cool, and that kind of grew and manifested into more. So initially, when like, damn, I want to get to know that nigga.
It's
That's
true.
that's different for men though. I feel like you got to at least be a
Men, we're
there's a
more
number.
visual.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
number.
And then even with women, what I come to realize, like you said, for a dude to get a woman that originally may not be interested in him, you have to be in an environment where you're seeing her every day. Meaning y'all work together, go to school. You know what I mean? I got mutual friends. Cause if he would have just tried to come walk up to you and holler at you, you probably would have never gave him a chance.
Right. No,
So-
that's
so-
what I said. It grew. You got to be in a situation where the person probably grows on you if the initial attraction isn't there.
How attractive? Is like I'm gonna ask this question because I feel like I can answer this, but how attractive does somebody have to be to put up with their shit? Because I feel like you gotta be at least
Oh, that shit,
Yeah,
that
it's
shit
like-
plays a factor.
you gotta at least be at 8.5.
But that dies down after
That
a while.
could- I was gonna
like,
say, that
honestly,
could go
after
out the
like
window.
2 months, I'm like, oh, you ain't
You
even
said
that
2
cute.
months?
I was like, after 2 months, like, that nigga ain't even that cute to go through this shit. Like, fucking.
Right. It depends on what
Is
the
it 2
shit
months for
is.
you?
I ain't
6
gonna-
months?
No, I ain't gonna say it's the time limit. It just depends on what the shit is. Because
That
some
too.
shit, nigga, ain't
It
gonna
don't
be
matter.
fine enough for me to put up with
That
certain
is
shit,
very
period.
true.
But I think it's subconsciously everybody does that shit.
Probably so, because if it's a nigga that's like, this nigga wasn't even all that attractive to begin with, and he doing shit that pisses me off, it's probably gonna make him less attractive than any.
I mean,
The expiration date goes
yeah,
quicker.
it's gonna be like, nigga,
But if he fine, you like his baby mama got one more time to call me. Boy, it's a wrap. I'll let this one slide.
Yo, women go through too much. Yeah. We go through too much.
I think it is. There's this level of attractiveness where I'm like, you know what, man, it ain't even.
I think that's more for men, though.
Yeah.
That's more for men, because I've seen
nah.
niggas go through some shit just because a girl was a baddie.
Women do too.
Oh, no, women do it the worst. I be doing it for ugly dudes too.
That's
Exactly.
because of dick. That's different.
Money.
Not speaking from experience.
So you could
Dick and money.
So you can mess with somebody who ugly but got good dick. But
Nah,
you
because
would.
he ain't even.
It depends. I've seen girls dickmatized by ugly dudes.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I've seen
too,
it. I don't
but
understand it, but I've seen it.
I ain't fucking no ugly. No nigga that I look at and be like, this nigga.
There
ugly.
has
We ain't even getting to the
But-
point for me to know how his dick is.
For us, it's like we're just not attracted to him. Some girls be like, "Yo, he's like the finest thing in this planet." I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, good for you," but
They
not
be
for
lying.
me.
They
I
know.
Something ain't.
You
It
ever-
ain't for us.
You ever stay with a woman that pussy was just so good, but she was like, "I'll keep it
I
in the
feel like
closet."
dudes do this shit all the time.
I'll keep it in the
Let's be
closet.
Nah, cause nah.
Niggas backtrack just like women do, though.
I don't know.
we backtrack, but nah, I ain't just staying with a. Basically, what he's saying, like she ain't all that, but the pussy good. Nah, I ain't. just-
Nah, I know a lot of niggas that stay with girls that earn all that, and just because they wanted the box.
I feel
off
like
that.
I feel like
That's how they
most.
got weird looking
I feel like
babies.
most men that does that, they stay with that woman that's really not all that because he down on his luck at the time and she helped keeping them afloat.
So it's like out of respect. This is me giving back to the community.
Nah, not. I'm saying like he might need that bitch.
Okay.
I can see like him depending on her
Right.
for that. I can see
Yeah,
that too.
I think that's when most men do that.
Oh, they call that hobosexual.
Huh?
They like a nigga who got a fuck to get like to have a roof over their head and
Oh.
shit.
yeah,
Wow.
for real.
Yeah,
I
them
think
tax returns hit. Yeah, they be around with yeah.
Yeah, Tonyo used to fuck with a fat bitch just because she was.
The Twitter stories, man. But wait for these.
Hey,
hell no.
fat bitches 7 out of 10. They got a beautiful face at least.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 of
10.
them?
7 out of 10 of them. It's hard to see.
We don't discriminate. All women are beautiful. All
Right.
bodies are beautiful.
Nah, we ain't gonna
Disclaimer.
lie. We ain't gonna lie.
Nah, yeah, we got
Beauty is skin deep. Beauty is subjective now. As far as
Subjective.
You saying all that shit? You just said that you wouldn't fuck with no ugly nigga.
Wait.
I mean, but it's subjective. Like, you know, it depends. I don't know.
Man, get on with all that bullshit. You better keep
But
that
what
shit
you said
real.
earlier about my brother told me something a long time ago that stuck with me. He said, "Don't let a guy make you feel like he's in your routine. Like there's certain niggas that will text you good morning every day, or text you after work, or just feel like, okay, Saturday's our day to hang out. And then you realize like he don't text you good morning one day, and you're like, yo, where my nigga at? He ain't even your nigga. So like it's one of those things where like eventually men can just or women can wedge themselves into your life and your daily routine where you feel comfortable with them. And I don't even think that depends on looks after a certain point, because I've been in that spot where it's like a dude I'm not even really feeling, but he used to call me like every Friday, and one Friday he ain't call me. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you know, like.
See that's the finesse game.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to be. Yeah, you don't want to catch you on a routine.
Yeah.
You're trying to keep it unpredictable.
That's when he really in pursuit of trying to get you.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas do that shit a lot. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You just got to be up on game about it.
Yeah. I've learned. I'm grown now.
See, waiting.
Yeah,
Helps.
yeah, of course. No, because, again, with the age thing, it's like you got to experience these. Like, I'm not saying you got to experience at 16 or 18 or whatever, but you got to get these experiences in as you go. Like, don't avoid it, because it's inevitable at the end of the day. Like, date around, find what you like, find what you don't like, learn about yourself, because if you're just waiting till your 30s to just get serious, but you don't even know where to start, you won't be able to handle those actual relationship problems.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now we kind of just go through bullshit because we're not exactly where we want to be. But like there's things like transparency, communication, like, you know, just other things that we need to work on in the future that are so much more deeper, that if you don't have you know what you want or know about yourself, your relationship's going to be flawed from the jump. Like it's not going to have a good foundation.
And I think that's the best advice. That was beautifully wrapped up.
Oh,
I
thank
think that
you.
was the best advice you
Try.
gave. I want to give a huge shout out to Dr. Trill and Miss On Game for joining us for
Y'all
that
were great.
conversation.
Thank
Great.
you for having us.
Of course,
Exactly.
like, come back anytime. I fuck with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I hope we can, you know, come on y'all shit.
For
You know,
sure.
talk some real nigga shit one time for one time. But yeah, make sure y'all check out the Unapologetically Unfiltered podcast. When y'all drop every
Monday.
Okay, every Monday. Make sure y'all can subscribe. Y'all probably on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all them motherfuckers.
All of them.
Just
Check us out.
they out there. Yeah, that's us for this week. Oh yeah, give out y'all socials and stuff so where people can follow you and be on game every day and shit. I know you out there. You be cussing niggas out probably in your captions all the time.
As you should.
Y'all can follow me on Instagram at it's Chantrice. This ITSCHANTRICE, because I know somebody gonna put an S. It's Chantrice with a C.
You can follow me at Yellow Boy Tonio.
That ain't your Instagram name. You got an underscore now.
Nah, that's what I was finna say though. You
Let him cook.
Yeah,
No,
cook.
he be
Y'all
forgetting
are
his
killing
own
me.
Instagram.
YELLA_TONIO. Follow me. Get at me.
Go ahead.
It's me now. All right. So y'all can follow me on Instagram at NEIMAAA. 2 underscores following that.
And you can follow us at NDR513. We out. Peace.